Good evening, everybody. This is your host, Huge Pop from the Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast. I have today with my boy, Reek, Nikki D, and I thought we had Big Daddy B, but here he is. Big Daddy B's up in the house. What's going on, guys? It's a great joy to have you guys all back together on Tuesday night. We're going to be talking Raw and anything else in wrestling. Plus, we're going to talk about, or will we talk about the Dallas Cowboys getting embarrassed.
I mean, all I gotta say, we said it was coming. It's not over yet.
No, so it's been a great couple weeks of football, but we're obviously here talking wrestling and
Well, obviously for us, Michiganders, even though we don't live there, it's still in our heart. We got Michigan won the title.
Yep.
Now we have our Lions. Hopefully going to the Super Bowl.
Hey, I still live here.
Yeah.
And the path is, to be honest, the path for them just got nice, being that the Dallas Cowboys got their asses beat by the Packers.
Yeah. I did not see that coming. I don't think anybody saw that coming. All the experts, everybody. I thought there's no way they roll in and beat Dallas. And to win the game is one thing, but for that game to unfold the way it did, I just sat there watching that like, what happened to their defense? What happened to their defense? I was like, are you kidding me? And Jordan Love just a lot of times, he's aiming, but sometimes he just throws it up there. He just throws it up there, and his guys are just catching it, man. Oh my gosh!
It was like you said, Nikki D. It was like the Cowboys forgot to play defense, and the Packers just amped up their offense by 1,000. I'm like, what?
Oh, the running game too.
Yeah.
Like Aaron Jones, dude, they had no answer for Aaron Jones at all. I was like, oh my gosh, look at that Jerry Jones just squirming in that, in the owner's suite up there. I looked at my wife. I was like, I guarantee someone's getting fired.
I'm surprised it's not happened already.
Dude. Yeah,
I'm sorry. I mean, let's face it. I mean, I know you're a Cowboy fan, so I don't know what you think about this, but how many years are we going to go with having Dak Prescott choke in the playoffs?
See, to me, that game wasn't on Dak. Yeah, he played bad. He had 2 bad throws, which eventually led to 14 points, and what we lost by. But all these fans are sitting there saying, "Get rid of Dak." People forget Dak doesn't play defense. Dak's not out there tackling. He's not out there covering. Yes, is he? And my thing is too, who would we go out and get that's better?
Right. I mean, I get that. I do.
Realistically, I mean.
Yeah, I get that.
Mm-hmm.
Matthew Stafford might be looking for a new home. I don't know.
Oh, they're not letting him go.
I'm just kidding.
They're not letting him go. But hey, I think, didn't he grow up in Texas?
Yep.
I think that's why he always loved to go there and play. I remember that when he was with the Lions, he played great. So, you never know if he does leave the Rams. There you go. Dak's not bad. Dak had a good year.
I do love how he admitted that him and his wife and kids watch the Lions play all the time. So I was like, that's pretty sweet, man. No animosity, still respects the team.
Oh, they're good people. They've done a lot of good stuff for our state and the city. 100%. They've done a lot of good things. So it was weird. It was like a movie, just the way it all fell. Detroit lost that game against Dallas. Sorry, Brent. So he lost that game. So they got the 2 seed and we got the 3 seed, and we got to host the Rams. And it was just weird because it was storybook. You have the 2 guys playing against their old teams, all this stuff going on. We had Brad Holmes, who came from, St. Louis, and it was just like a perfect storm, and it was a really good game. Really good game.
I think it all worked out for the best.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was telling Rico, man, before we went on, I was like, I am glad we're not playing the Packers right now. I would not want to go to Lambeau. I know the Packers beating the Cowboys helped us get home field advantage. If we're smart, throughout the whole rest of the playoffs. And I hope I never root for the Packers, but I rooted for them against the Cowboys, and I'm going to definitely root for them against the 49ers because I want to see a Packers Lions in the Ford Field
championship game.
Yes, that'd be so.
It's
epic.
tough. It's hard to, especially when it's a division rival, because you already see each other twice, and then you have that third game. So it's like, because remember the way the way Green Bay came in and jumped on the Lions on Thanksgiving was similar to what Detroit did to them on that primetime game in Lambeau. They just beat the dog crap out of them, but it was over at halftime.
Right.
And they got motivated. They woke up and they got some payback on the Lions when they came to Detroit. But so it'd be interesting. I don't know if they do knock out the 49ers.
Yeah, that's.
I don't.
Big Daddy, I agree with you. I don't see them.
I know. You know what I mean. I don't see it, but I didn't see them beating Dallas. I did not see them beating Dallas.
If they play at that level. If they play at the level that they play at Dallas, 49ers are screwed.
I don't know, man, because 49ers whole different squad than Dallas.
Yeah.
Dallas was different at home too, though. Dallas was different at home. And that defense was no joke, really. Dallas's defense was very, very good all year. Like Detroit scored
20.
They lost, 20-19?
21-20. Or 29, 20-19.
20-19 because they went for 2 to go for the win. That offense puts up a lot of points and they put up a lot of yards. And Dallas played them like Detroit's defense played Dallas's offense tough too. They played each other tough.
Right.
But their defense normally doesn't look the way they did against Green Bay. I don't know what happened.
Well, you got to note that the refs weren't there when they were in Detroit. So that was the missing component. That was the missing component of the defense. That was the missing component of the defense. I mean, let's face it.
Oh my gosh!
After the first time, just kick the extra point, take your chances in overtime.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Dan Campbell was like, when we got backed up, I thought, well, we're going to overtime. He said, nope, we're still going for a win.
That's all.
And then we jumped off sides. Put you back up at the 2.
Yeah.
And then it unfolded. That's all I gotta say. So anyways, Monday Night Raw.
Wrestling. Well, actually, before we get to that, man, because we haven't got to talk to these two about it. It's about 2 weeks old, maybe now. What their thoughts on with a certain somebody saying sitting at the head of the table.
Yes.
Big Daddy, go ahead.
I'm fine. Obviously, The Rock, probably one of the biggest icons, but it has to be at the Chamber. It can't be for the title at Mania.
Not for the title. Nope.
It can't. It cannot be. Cody Rhodes has to win the belt. Has to. But I don't know. I think he's just there to really just even more certify Roman Reigns as the head of the table. My personal opinion.
I did hear that he did sign a healthy contract with WWE here just recently. So,
and that's from what the rumor mill was. It won't be for the title. He'll lose the belts to Cody at WrestleMania, but then what's after WrestleMania? Which one was SummerSlam or
SummerSlam?
Well, I think SummerSlam.
Well, your big ones. I mean,
probably SummerSlam, I guess, where they would go against each other for that head of the table spot. That's just on the rumor mill. Sorry, Nikki D, what are your thoughts on The Rock saying that?
I thought it got my attention right away. I thought it was awesome. I thought that whole segment was just even prior to his statement, the whole thing, like bringing back a former champion, and then out comes Jinder Mahal, and it's like, oh, that's a former champ, and that's like, haha, people were all ticked off about it and everything. But the promo he cut, I was like, dang, man, like that's cutting deep. His stuff was good, like good. That was the best I ever heard him talk. And so even before that, when Jinder Mahal was doing his thing, he just built it up so much that when The Rock's music hit, it erupted. Like I even was like, "Yeah, get out here, man." But when he was talking about that, and he was saying, I'm gonna, should I eat? Should I sit here, or should I sit at the bar? Should I sit at the head of the table? I was like, "Oh man, that was good." I don't think like a superstar of his caliber. You look at what who he is. First off, with the WWE historically, what he's done.
Yeah.
I don't think it carries. This is just my personal opinion. I don't think it would carry. Look, when he came back for that run with Cena, it was for the title. I see it the same way. I see it the same way with Roman. I don't know that he'll win because Roman's he's on like a different level, but he is going to have to drop it at some point. Maybe they do a thing where he does, where he, him and The Rock have their thing, and then he drops it to Cody. But I think it would have to be for the title, because if it was just a match, people would care. But this makes it bigger, because if he loses, then he's not like in God mode. He's just a dude who's pretty good right now. So I think they have to keep that going while these two forces collide. Like Cena, when Cena was on top and everything was rolling for him, and The Rock came out of retirement, he had that year where they hyped that up with all those promos and everything, and they went at it. And I thought, well, he's probably just here to add to Cena's, even though it'd be cool if he won, and he won. And I was like, oh my gosh, he won. And then he held it for a while, and then they had their follow-up match. So you could really get a lot out of this, but I think the belts have to be involved. I just don't think it would have the same luster without him. That's just my personal opinion.
Now, what if Cody and Roman are going at it for the belts? Bloodline try to interfere. Rock comes out and helps Cody, causes Roman to lose the belts. That would have a lot of build up right there.
Yeah.
Now,
that'd be a good way to build it up.
Are they going against each other at the Rumble?
No, at the Rumble.
That's that 4-way.
Yeah, you get the Fatal 4-way.
I'm
LA
telling
Knight,
you,
Randy Orton, AJ Styles, and Roman.
I'm telling you, I wouldn't be shocked. 100% would not be shocked. Paul Heyman said it. He said it. The way he said it made me go, He said, I think he said something like, "Great, it's on you." And when he was talking to the commissioner there, or the head there,
Nick Aldis.
He goes, "It's on you, Nick, because now there's no way the head of the table can win," or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's possible, and you're right, Big Daddy. I'd give it. Why wouldn't you let Roman Reigns? Why would you let Orton do it? Why? Why not? It's not going to do nothing. It's not going to do anything to Cody Rhodes' story.
No.
He can still finish the story. It might not be. There's nothing that says he has to beat Roman Reigns for the story, right?
True.
It's just more of a build-up with him and Roman because he lost the previous Mania. So to come back for that rematch, I think you get more hype around that.
I see that, but I think that we also need to put into perspective. I like the idea that he's going to come out and help Cody Rhodes beat Roman Reigns and then become head of the table. How about he comes out and helps Roman Reigns retain and then beats the shit out of him to set up SummerSlam or whatever, and now we got The Rock as the head of the table, and then we got little Roman Reigns, his little bitch, sitting at the side of the table.
I don't know. That's what I love about it. You can go so many different ways with this story. You really can, and honestly, every way will have a good impact.
Yeah, I saw something on Bleacher Report because I read the grades of Raw and SmackDown and everything, and I saw like a statement which it got me thinking it's true. Is this since '92? Is this the first Rumble where you can have 5 or 6 more credible winners for the Rumble, and it not be like why him? Like you got
Mhm.
Rhodes, Punk, Gunther,
Drew McIntyre.
Mm-hmm.
Jay's a possibility. I know,
Yeah.
but there's more. There's not just okay. It's got to be this guy or this guy. It can be
No,
like
I get what you're saying because it's the
Right.
same for the women's as well. You know, you don't just have one or two. You know, now you're looking at Nia Jax, you're looking at Becky Lynch, and you're looking at Bianca, you're looking at Bailey. You know, you have
or
multiple scenarios.
there's one main that you didn't mention that I can't wait. I cannot wait to see her.
Jade,
Yes.
she's my pick. I'm telling you right now, she's my pick.
Who's your pick?
She's my pick. She's not even mentioned anywhere, but she's my pick.
Yeah. Or
just saying.
Good pick.
Or if my WWE wife comes back, I'm praying to the gods.
Naomi?
Sasha Banks.
Sasha Banks.
Oh, Mercedes.
Mercedes
I mean,
Moné.
Didn't she just drop the belt at TNA?
Mm-hmm.
I got
I mean,
Oh no, that's a Trinity. Trinity just dropped the belt.
oh, that's right. Trinity dropped the belt.
Trinity. And for the men's, I hope Matt Cardona just appears. I don't care if he wins.
I have nothing good to say about that piece of crap.
What's the hatred with Matt, man?
All right, I'll tell you the hatred of Matt. I'll be honest with the hatred of Matt.
Wow.
We've interviewed how many big names on this podcast?
Quite a few, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I reached out to Matt Cardona, and he says, "You're not worth 30 minutes unless you pay me $500. You understand that I'm a superstar?" And that was it. That's his email reply.
Wow.
I have no.
He has changed. I will say that in interviews and stuff like that, he has changed. You know, and he's been doing his things, killing it in the like in the indies and stuff. And he seems like he's changed attitude wise. So that doesn't. I believe you when you say that was his email response. I believe you.
Mm-hmm.
He said that he's the biggest thing in indie wrestling today. Then he went on that little rant, and I'm like, okay. I mean, hell, I've not paid. The most I've ever paid was I paid Austin Aries $50 for him to be on my show, but he handed me a box the next night of his books, and he signed like 10 of them. So, yeah. I mean,
it was worth it.
It was worth
it.
Yeah,
Austin Aries isn't a nobody, in the business. So yeah. But I see why you feel that way, Huge Pop. I absolutely do.
I throw up in my mouth if Matt Cardona came to that Royal Rumble.
I mean, as a wrestler, though, it would be nice to see him come back, man. It would be.
Whatever. I have no use.
But they really are loaded with potential, winners. Like they are loaded. It's the first time in a long time where you don't have one individual where you're like, well, it's got to be that person. And then they pull the wool over our eyes and somebody else wins. And we're all like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, I sat here and watched this for that. Mm-hmm. And they would do that in the ladies too. Or you would see somebody get it that you weren't happy about. Like this one right here, there are a multitude of options. And it's been a while. Like when you say that, Big Daddy, you're right. It's been a while. I mean, I honestly, you would have to go back probably to the Attitude Era, maybe, where you had so much talent that was in it. It was anybody's guess on who was going to win. So It's been a long time.
Yeah, and it's almost solidifying Roman Reigns. His record's never going to be touched because, let's say Cody Rhodes wins it at Mania. You got Gunther. You have McIntyre, you have Seth Rollins, you have Randy Orton, you have Drew McIntyre, you have all these guys that are going to be pushing for that belt. So there's no way one individual is going to carry that belt for a long period of time.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, can I just say this, that I don't think CM Punk is going to win it, but he's going to have his match with Rollins at Mania. His mouth is going to get him that match.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's going to get that match.
Mm-hmm. That one will happen. It has to happen.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's a no-brainer. That one has to happen.
You'll see CM Punk take Seth Rollins' belt.
Well, we'll see. You know, and on
I
the
don't know.
female side,
That's
you
best
don't
for
see much
business.
of her, but I would really, really like to see more of Xia Li. Like, I'd like to see them do something with her.
So before we go on to Rob, I was talking to Rico. Here's what do you guys think? What's your opinion on TNA? Just like 2 weeks ago, or the last week, signed with Endeavor. You realize that's the same one that WWE is with.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like UFC, right? Endeavor's
Right.
the same thing that WWE and UFC. Huh.
I wonder if we'll now, because I only say this because at TNA's that big pay-per-view they just had, you had everybody thinking that Dolph Ziggler was going to come to WWE. He showed up at TNA.
Yep.
In the crowd, you had Bailey and one of her girls up in the upper rafters watching
Dakota Kai.
Dakota Kai up there watching the women's main event. You had Sasha Banks, or no, Naomi lost and she left. I think it was Naomi. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Lost. I have a feeling you're going to see like AEW's ROH is TNA WWE's ROH.
Where you can see like other people showing up and just having a match, cameo, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Where they could still be their like their own kind of like entity, but still do these things together. Wow, that'd be a game changer.
Yeah.
That'd be a game changer.
Triple H isn't stupid.
Nope. No, he's not. That'd be a huge game changer. Holy.
That's what we were talking about, is because AEW does it with ROH. So why? I mean,
and they've done it with New Japan too. Like,
Why
not? That's yeah.
I mean,
wow.
that brings Moose into the conversation. Now he's a badass.
I wish he'd come to WWE.
I mean, but that's what I'm saying. Is TNA, are they going to be able to go jump ship and, like flip-flop people around? I mean, I see that might be happening.
That'd be a huge move. It'd be smart. It would benefit everybody involved. So yeah. Wow. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy right there. So
yeah,
it just makes you really think about it, like what the possibilities of what can come.
Mm-hmm. And they would do something like that. You think about it. I thought it was like it was unheard of for the WWE to ever share talent, ever. And Brock Lesnar kind of broke that mold because he was doing stuff with them and he was doing stuff with UFC. And that blew my mind because I'm like, how in the world? Like Vince would have never allowed that. But that kind of to transcend like two different sports and to have that kind of going on. It's better. It's better for both. It's better for everybody involved.
Well, Shinsuke. Who did he go against? What was it? New Japan. He went against somebody and they allowed him to go wrestle that match because it was something that was promised, and that was one thing. And there was what's his face? Jake or Carl Anderson.
Yeah. Oh,
he had a match they allowed him to go do. So I was like, that's kind of weird that they're allowing this to happen. Something that's never been done before.
Yeah, that is interesting. And I wonder too, again, it's who's calling the shots. I know Vince is there. And when they did this whole merger thing, or I shouldn't call it a merger, but when they became like one with UFC underneath that same umbrella, Vince was brought back into the fold. But I think Triple H still kind of he's creative director, and I don't know what his exact title or technical title is for everything that he does, but that's smart. That's smart. That is, because everybody sees your talent, and then you're working with somebody instead of against them, like another company or whatever that, you could benefit from each other. So, and Carl Anderson's done a lot of stuff in Japan, dude. A lot of stuff in Japan. Gosh.
So, Huge Pop.
Yes.
Didn't you have some clips or something that you want?
Yeah, so let's run through some clips I had. I got like 3 clips that could pertain to wrestling. Then I got a huge announcement for tomorrow night's show. You guys might want to pay attention to this one. So here's the first clip I found to show.
Breaking news coming out of the WWE. It's being reported that we're going to be getting 2 familiar faces back in the near future over the next couple of weeks. Obviously, the Royal Rumble is right around the corner, and 2 big names are expected to return any day. Sheamus and Xavier Woods. Sheamus has been out of action since August 18th when he faced the rated R superstar Adam Edge Copeland in a grueling match that left him with a shoulder injury, so he's been out of action for almost 6 months now. On top of that, Xavier Woods has been out of injury since November. He actually doesn't have a specific injury. He was just really beat up from going in and out, no pun intended, for a grueling 2023 of a series of matches. I can't wait for Sheamus and Xavier to return back. They're both top star athletes, and it's evident that Kofi misses Xavier. New Day's not the same without him, and the Brawling Brutes are definitely not the same without Sheamus. They've been falling apart right before our eyes. What do you think about this? Let me know in the comments. Sheamus and Xavier expected to return any week. Can't wait. Nico Extra out.
And which we saw Xavier last night on Raw.
Yeah.
So Sheamus, what's happening here? So Sheamus, man, coming back, he could be a game changer too in that whole world title picture.
Yeah, he's another one. You can't just eliminate him out of that topic.
So that's that one. And then
breaking news coming out of TNA Wrestling. Last night, TNA cooked. They took it up a new level with their re-debut of TNA from Impact Wrestling. They had several title changes, including a new world champion, Moose, and a new Knockouts champion in Jordan Grace. They also had several debuts, the biggest one being Dolph Ziggler, now known as Nick Nemeth, his real name. In addition to that, Ash by Elegance, formerly Dana Brooke, made her debut, kind of looking like a bootleg Toni Storm. And the one, the only, AJ Francis, everyone's favorite wrestler, also debuted at Impact. Along with others, that was a great night all in all for TNA Wrestling, and they definitely made an impact, so to speak, to take it to the next level. Did you watch Hard to Kill? What'd you think about it? Let me know in the comments. I had a great time watching it. I enjoyed the show from beginning to end. I'm a huge fan of TNA. Used to work there 20 years ago, and I still appreciate the product. I think rebranding from Impact to TNA was a great idea because people still called Impact the old TNA. So it makes sense for me to do all this, and I think the sky's the limit for TNA Wrestling. As always, Nico Extra, out.
Now you got Sheamus, you have Dolph Ziggler, you have Dana Brooks, all in this circle that could be.
Hey, what can I hear? What the
if TNA is going to be on the same, with WWE on that same little thing, that's possible. It's endless, really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, and you really do. That's where now it just becomes a bigger playing field.
And I just got. I'm just gonna let you guys know. I'm getting messages into my message feed here on my Facebook. Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast. You guys, we are with Knockout Entertainment from Florida. There was an episode last week with CWF Florida, which is now in talks with merging or combining with NWA in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And the new announcement was just sent to me that CWF just signed America's Best Tag Team, which would be the Charlie Haas Tag Team. So they're working on getting them on the Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast as well. So for those things, and yeah. So yeah. Then we have another. Yeah, so we have another one. But the last one is this one.
Breaking news and rumors coming out of the WWE. Could The Rock be at and win the Royal Rumble? The Wrestling Observer has reported that The Rock had been planned to win the Royal Rumble in the past, and that was a sure line to get him to a WrestleMania main event. That hasn't taken place, obviously, because The Rock hasn't been in the Royal Rumble in many, many years. But if The Rock was to show up as number 30 in the Royal Rumble, I can assure you that he's probably going to win it, and he's probably going to be going on to WrestleMania to challenge Roman Reigns in what my opinion is the biggest match that could possibly take place. That's great that CM Punk wants to do this and go on and face Seth frickin' Rollins, and that's awesome that Cody wants to finish his story and him winning the Royal Rumble 2 years in a row to get to Roman Reigns. But at the end of the day, Rock versus Roman Reigns for the necklace, Rock versus Roman Reigns for the tribal chief, Rock versus Roman Reigns for the title would put Roman Reigns in another category after he beats The Rock. And I hate to say it because I love The Rock more than anything in the world, but The Rock needs to put over Roman to make Roman a level above greatness. Anyways, I can't wait for this. The Rock potentially at Royal Rumble, potentially winning Royal Rumble. It's all rumors, guys. Of course, CM Punk is still the favorite, but if The Rock shows up, he would CM Punk over, and I would love that. Anyways, Nico Extra, out.
In a way, I agree with them. I see what you're saying. That would put Roman above where he's already at, but you don't need it. I don't think you need that, right?
Or do you to prolong probably one of the best storylines going today? You have Rock put Roman Reigns over. You have Jay and Jimmy reconnect. That it's unstoppable. It's I don't know.
I'm going to call this now. I think we're going to see Jimmy versus Jay at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
I think we're going to see that at this WrestleMania.
You have to. I mean, you have to have that match. I think that's another must-have match.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I mean, to me, because they've hinted at it not once, twice, but numerous times, something that they both want. And right now would be the perfect time to pull that trigger.
And I've seen rumors too that it's supposed to be Cena versus Solo again at Mania.
I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that.
No, nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see that.
That was horrible the first time I seen it.
Oh man, dude, I don't know. I just feel like when Cena came back, when all of these people came back, Roman has put in all this time to get to where he is. He's put, I mean, years and years and years into his craft, ring work, the aura, his mic work, all this stuff. And when people came back, like when Cena came back and it was a huge pop, I think it was like Money in the Bank or whatever that was when he first did a couple of years ago. I'm like, wow. And it just SummerSlam,
yeah.
SummerSlam, yeah. And he didn't even look like he was on. He was obviously he's not the Cena that he was before he went and started doing all the acting and everything. He's like 30 pounds smaller, but besides that, he just looked like a guy that was in the ring with Roman. Like Roman was, I looked at that and I was like, wow, Roman has come that far. And I think, I kind of agree with what the one guy was saying. He could just put Roman over. He's tried to put Roman over. Remember when Roman won the Royal Rumble and he came out and he raised his head? Everybody was ticked off and booing him and everything, and The Rock lifted his hand and was pointing at him, and he's been trying to put him over, multiple times, and the people weren't ready. Now he's at that level. He is. Yeah. He is. So I think that you could build it up and he could topple him. And then that would put Roman that much higher. Like you said, Huge Pop, you would continue his storyline, his aura, and then whoever does beat him, if it's Cody or whatever, it means that much more. That's how I look at it.
I just think they waited so long for this Cody Rhodes Roman Reigns thing. Why not go past WrestleMania? Why not let Rock put him over? Why not?
I agree.
Cody beat him at SummerSlam,
and have Cody finish the story at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Why not do that?
Because they've tried to do that stuff before, and they've pulled the trigger at Mania. But you don't have to. You can let it keep going. You can let this stuff go and keep building.
And I don't know. Cody doesn't have to win it to finish the story at WrestleMania. He just has to win. He just has to win the belt.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. And he hasn't lost any of his momentum. No, he's stupid over. So he's fine. I think he'd be fine to do whatever it is that he's going to do and then get it at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
I think he would be fine. It wouldn't hurt him.
Not at all. I don't think it hurt him.
So who do you think would be a good match for Cody at WrestleMania if he doesn't win Rumble and move on?
Gunther.
Oh, shoot. Oh, man.
That's exactly what I was thinking, man.
And why not let Cody beat Gunther and he can take a title and then he can go to SummerSlam and win the title off of Roman Reigns? Now you got two belt Cody. Why not?
That would give him some serious momentum because Gunther is he's on another level too. I love that guy.
I think
that would be crazy.
He's the best right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that would be crazy. So if you did set that matchup, I mean, I didn't even think about that. That's a good guess.
Let's say Cody eliminates Gunther in the Rumble. Gunther gets mad, comes back and gets Cody eliminated.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
That's how you build that stuff.
Match.
Yeah, that's how you build it. That's how you build it.
I just don't think it's Cody Rhodes. He doesn't need to do it. He doesn't need it at WrestleMania. There's just no.
I could see Gunther versus Cody, or I could see like what you said, Rico. Instead of it being Cody, it'd be like Jay Uso eliminating Gunther, and then Gunther. But I just don't see Jay fighting anybody else but Jimmy at Mania.
Ooh.
Yeah, I just saw that too.
Cody could rumble with Cross now.
Yes,
I love what they're doing with Karrion Kross now.
Yes, it's irritating me they're not using them so much, man. I love Karrion Kross.
Mm-hmm.
Use him now.
Yeah, that's a good point.
The whole Bobby Lashley and Street Profits thing, I think it's just been a total dud to this point.
Bobby Lashley's too good to be in that. I don't know why they put him in that role. And the Street Profits don't need I don't know.
No,
that bothered me when they first did it. Yeah, Street Profits were good on their own, and I love Bobby Lashley, and it was just weird to me. I'm like, why? So
and then trying to turn them heel. Profits are they're not heel figures.
No, they're not.
The crowd likes them too good for them to be a heel.
Yep, they are loved. So yeah, man, I cannot think of the last time it was though. While we were talking about the Rumble, that somebody has won it back to back. I'm trying to think.
Who was the last person to do it?
Stone Cold, right?
I was going to say I think the last person to do it was Stone Cold.
Well, he has the record because he's won 3, I think. Yeah, he's won 3. But I can't think of the last time somebody has won back to back. Has it been since Austin?
I think so.
You look at all the people that have gone through that were just on fire. And they didn't even win back to back Rumbles. So that makes me think, I don't know. I don't know. See, that's what I mean. This year is so
loaded.
Up in the air.
Yeah.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna get my phone charger.
All right.
Okay.
So yeah, man. So Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast also has a. If I say the name to you guys, the Cuban Assassin, would you guys know who that is?
I should.
Yeah, you probably should.
I probably should.
Fidel Sierra and his wife, his Fantasy. They've been in, they've been, I believe, in back in the day, back by his 80s. But here we go. Maybe this will click. So this is tomorrow's guest. So the Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast. I have this as tomorrow's announcement.
Cuban, I'm so excited. Tomorrow night we will be on the Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast. And let me tell you something. You better be nice to me because otherwise I'm going to tell some stories.
Well, Fantasy, Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Guess what? I got a lot of stories to say about you, too. And we're going to be talking about my wrestling career, your wrestling career. We're going to be talking about our show in Waldo, Florida coming up in March. So tune in tomorrow, Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast. Don't miss out, 9 p.m.
That's our guest tomorrow. Fidel what's his last name here? Yeah. Cuban Assassin, anyways.
Nice.
So
Nice.
I'm Cuban Assassin tomorrow. So things are happening.
That's a veteran right there, man.
Yes, I'm back. So
That's awesome.
it's been a
Sorry,
blessing
I'm
to
trying
get some
listen
vets.
to see.
So man, the promos we got only like 15 minutes to, before we got to get off here. So the promos were solid last night on Monday Night Raw. The promo between Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes was unbelievable. McIntyre.
You know, I forgot about. Did that really? Sorry, Huge Pop. That really happened? Was that really when he talked about the match that they had? It was kind of like at the end when Cody said that.
Yeah.
And he said, "Who won that match?" And then he walked away.
Mm-hmm.
And Drew was all ticked off. I don't remember that match.
It was in the Indies.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what he was referring. Okay, so I'm like dumb because I'm sitting there thinking, did this happen before? You know, when like prior to them both leaving, or prior to Drew disappearing and then coming back when he was like better.
Right.
So my mind was just in the wrong spot. But no, that was good.
I mean,
That was good.
It's storytelling. You know, first of all, let's go this one. Drew McIntyre says you're going to finish your story for sure, just not before I finish mine. Then Rhodes goes, I'm thankful for my second chances, and you are just complaining about yours. You know, that was solid, you know. And then, like you said, they even went as deep as the Indies, saying, do you remember the last match?
Mm-hmm.
I do. So
that could be a build-up for that match right there.
Yeah. I mean, so there's endless opportunities for Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that comes from a guy that comes from me where I was pissed that I thought they screwed up when they put Cody Rhodes in with Jay and Jimmy and Sami Zayn and got him off the track. But what they're doing now, I think they came full circle. I think they're doing a wonderful job with Cody Rhodes, and
it's somehow working, and it isn't like he's not losing steam, and that's a credit to him and the worker that he is. And he did, they talked about also in that promo how they both had to leave to get better, and then they came back, and it's like he did so much, like, I don't want to say growing up, but he found out more of who he was and what he could do. So when he came back, it was like you weren't getting, even though Cody before was cool, but that Cody was like, hey, why don't you dress up as Stardust? You know, or why don't you, basically you're riding off, Gold Dust coattails, or why don't you do this, or why don't you? He came back as, he was rebranded as himself. He was the American Nightmare. He was, all that stuff is done. And so that was huge for him. He came back completely different, so he's like full steam ahead, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then
Go ahead.
what I was gonna say, and then we went on to the Dominic Mysterio and JD McDonough.
Dude.
No, Rico. It's not Dominic. It's
Dirty
Tom and
Dom.
Nick.
Oh,
No,
Tom
Tom
and Nick. Tom and Nick. Our truth. Yeah, I was looking. I found Tom, but where's Nick at? I
I
just
couldn't
can't
find him on
find
Facebook.
That guy, that shirt he's wearing, he still wants to be in the Judgment Day. Or does he?
That's what I was saying. He just makes it funny, man. He really does.
Now,
And then-
I like what they're doing. Now, see, I was not an R-Truth fan per se because of the 24/7 belt. I hated that.
Oh,
The 24/7,
hate it.
7-Eleven.
but he made it interesting, though. He made it interesting.
But no, dude, I don't want to see that belt was a joke.
Yeah.
And it ruined wrestling for me. We're all wrestling fans. We all have our opinions. For me, that was like, no.
And some of the guys they had like chasing him around, like they're too good for the 24/7 belt.
Right.
Mhm.
They just
I mean,
didn't have anything for
He's
him at
too
the time.
good for that 24/7 belt.
Yeah,
He's too good.
yes.
And he is loved by so many people in the business. And he's wasn't that one of their big problems when they left? I think it was Dave Batista that talked about that. He said Ron Killings is so talented and they never push him. And I think he was like shooting in an interview where he was ticked off about that. And I thought CM Punk said the same thing. Like, everybody loves that guy. He's good. I don't know how you don't like him, Huge Pop. Like, all I can do is just even the segment when he came out, when like Kane was still the commissioner. You remember that? Then we were talking about the ladder match, and his music played, and he came. Oh my gosh,
No,
that is the greatest piece of like that was I can watch that today and still die. Like that was gold. That was gold.
But I think you're misunderstanding me, Nikki D. I hated how WWE put him in that stupid 24/7. That to me,
I gotcha.
that was a joke. R-Truth is way better than a 24/7 run around wearing costumes and being the Santa Claus and shit like that.
Yeah.
When you have a guy that ability, he needs to be in this Judgment Day kind of esque. That's better than this 24/7 Santa Claus shit.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So that's what I mean. I love R-Truth.
I gotcha. I misunderstood.
He's a lot. He's very talented.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the Rumble, he comes in and goes under the ring and gets a ladder.
Yeah.
He put it in the ring and he climbed the ladder and looked up like, oh my gosh, dude.
Like when
Everything he does, dude.
And to Heyman and Brock, and he starts talking about Heyman being in the Rumble. You actually got Brock to laugh. And
oh yeah. It turns out that was like a wager that he had, and he said, "I'll get Brock to break character," and Heyman was like, "No, you won't," because Brock is stoic. Like he was like, "Watch," and so he got him to break character during that promo, and Heyman was like, "Oh my gosh."
No.
Dude, he's great, man. Like everything he does is gold.
He is. He's good. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Remember when he was K Quick? Wasn't that his old name? Way back in the day. He was like K Quick or something like that.
Yeah.
Before he was R-Truth. That seems like a lifetime ago.
Rick, you're right. He is a comedic genius. And yes, there's a place for that in wrestling, except I didn't like the angle they used. That's all. I never was a fan of that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. I'm in the backstage. I'm hiding in a dumpster. Oh, I have a referee. No, shut up.
It did get dumb. Just like they had like interviewers who would see like the person laying down, then they would pin like R-Truth, and they would pin whoever it was, and the belt was just like changing hands, and it did after a while. It was just a comedy relief. It was just something they could do while they were changing something in the ring or whatever. I don't know, just to pass the time. Yeah.
See, I think him being in a Judgment Day would be good because it brings like Sammy did to the Bloodline.
Yes.
Everybody's all serious, and you got Sammy just cracking them up.
That was
I think
perfect.
that would be hilarious.
That was perfect. And that helped. That really elevated. Like, I thought Sammy was like, okay. He was all right. I didn't like him as much as I like Kevin Owens. I thought he was way better than Sammy. And then when Sammy joined the Bloodline, he really earned my respect. Like, I became a fan of his because I thought this guy's good.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
He was K Quick when he teamed with Road Dogg, and K Crush went into TNA.
Yeah, there we go.
Talk about Kevin Owens. That promo he cut on Friday was fire. I think it was
against Logan? Yeah.
Yeah. And Logan's going to bring his lawyers, and KO goes, "Go ahead, bring them. Come on, you can be the guest on the KO show." You know.
So do we think KO is going to win, or is they going to keep Logan Paul as champ?
Me personally, I would like KO to win. That's just me, my thoughts. I would like KO.
I would too.
Mm-hmm.
I would too.
I think having Logan keep the belt, he can run his mouth, he can wrestle, he can do good, but I'd like KO to take that and hold that title.
Yeah. I wish KO would turn heel again. Like him win the belt and then turn heel. He's a good face, but he's better as a heel, in my opinion.
100%.
It's hard because people cheer for him. That's what happens. Is he's so good at being a jerk. People cheer for him, and they're like, well, you got to be a babyface, man, because nobody dislikes you. And so he could do it again. Like, look how over he was when he was feuding with Austin at that WrestleMania and shooting his mouth off and everything. So he could do that match, and he was still there. Like, oh, Kevin Owens, you're awesome, man. Like, I don't know if he can do anything wrong.
Well, here's a question I think could probably finish the show. I mean, we could talk for probably an hour on this question. So the question is, should belts be on part-timers? Serious question.
Ooh.
I'm going to give my honest opinion on that one and say I really don't think so. Unless it's somebody big name like Brock is kind of considered a part-timer right now.
Yeah.
If it's for him coming back, kind of helping the company, putting the title on him, putting butts in seats, I can see something like that. Logan Paul, well, he's not really a full-timer because he's not there all the time. He is more like a part-timer. And I just don't think he's worked up to the level like everyone else is at. He's good, don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I saw a thing because I'm a nerd when it comes to this stuff, this in sports. So I was reading, and the reason Roman is say like part-time per se is because he's still like getting medical treatment for the leukemia, making it like so he's strong enough to go like through all this like the feuds that he goes through, so he doesn't have to wrestle every single week. I mean, because he's like a Brock, like he doesn't have to be there every week for us as fans to know who he is and how big of a superstar he is. Like he's going to be a draw. Like he's going to be a Cena, Lesnar, Austin, Rock, those guys. So him I'm fine with, but like the everyday titles, like the Intercontinental Championship, the US, tag, no, they should be full time.
I 100% agree with you, Big Daddy. I mean, that could raise questions. What you said about Roman Reigns, I agree with you. If it's medical, and I didn't realize that's what it was.
Yeah.
Because I was getting frustrated because he shows every third Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much.
I love what AEW did with Samoa Joe, taking the belt off of MJF. I mean, he didn't wrestle, but every other week, every third week, he would come out there and run his mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But Samoa Joe was always out there wrestling and doing all this. And I mean, so if we want to talk about Roman Reigns, other than if it's a medical, I see why now they're protecting he he's above everybody. I mean, he's a god in the wrestling business. But part timers like Logan Paul, you don't know. Part timers and celebrities, I don't. What about? Is it good to have a belt on a celebrity? No. Even though David Arquette was probably the greatest WCW champion ever.
Way better than Sting. Way better than Sting.
Oh, wow.
He drew way more than Sting.
Wait, Nikki D. Bye-bye.
Now, that hurt you saying that. Man.
Oh, man. No.
That is a nice belt.
Nice. You know, I think it depends on who it is. I remember when big names, I think back even like Hulk Hogan he was kind of like part-time. He would show up at the big shows. He would defend his title there. And then you saw somebody like Ric Flair who never took a day off. He was everywhere at everything. And I thought, wow, that's crazy. He's the champ, but he's wrestling like all the time. And then when Bret Hart was up and coming like Intercontinental champ and then made it in the WWE, he defended it all the time. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I mean, you almost feel like it depends on the person, but I feel like, I guess if I had to say yes or no, I would say no. Seriously, it shouldn't be on part-timers because you have people who are there, who can be there, and who can carry the load, like who can be that Look at John Cena. That guy, he carried the company. He never took time off. He was doing Make-A-Wish. You know, he was doing spots in TV shows. He was doing all this stuff, carrying the title too. He didn't stop. So, I mean, it depends on the person, I guess, but I feel like no. It probably should be there all the time. I don't care what belt it is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I was talking to somebody, legend, a couple days ago, from up in Missouri, and we were talking about Logan Paul. And regardless of Logan Paul having a title, if he didn't have that title, he's still going to put butts in seats.
Oh yeah.
If he's on the card, people are buying the tickets.
Yep.
Because everybody hates him.
Because everybody hates him.
He's good too, though.
He's good.
He's very good.
He's uber talented. I'm shocked when I watch him wrestle.
He's good. I mean, we talked about that same day, Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
He obviously puts in the time and effort to learn the craft. Is he excellent? Is he excellent? No, he's not great. But he can get in there and he can those moves that he made when he appeared on the in the pay-per-views. He doesn't have a belt, but guess what? If Bad Bunny's on a card, guess what? That's more money. That's extra seats being bought. That's, you know what I'm saying? So, guys like Logan Paul, I don't think need the belt. I think they need to put it on guys that are in the business as wrestlers, and they need to put them on those guys because that roster now for WWE, I think it was Nikki D or Big Daddy were saying it's loaded, or maybe Rico was saying it's loaded. There's so many now.
Mm-hmm.
And talking about another celebrity that's actually really good and learns the craft is Pat McAfee.
Yes.
All of his matches have been phenomenal.
Yep. And the thing with those celebrities too is like the three that you meant, like you talk about Pat McAfee and then Bad Bunny and Logan Paul. They're celebrities, yes, but they're celebrities that when they get into the WWE or they're working on a match or they've got an angle or something that they're doing, they don't make the business look like a joke. Right. They take it serious. So because they take it serious, you believe them, you believe in the angle, and you know, I mean, they get some celebrities that come in and it's just like, ha, fun or whatever. Mm-hmm. No, like those three that we mentioned are perfect examples of celebrities who take the business serious. And those are the ones that you need.
Because they're first and foremost fans. And
exactly.
They love it and they take it serious that they get into it.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, Rico, you have anything to add to before we close it?
Oh, no, we went over everything I was thinking about, man. So we'll end it with this. Everyone's number 1 and number 2 pick for the men and women. We'll do it quick. Huge Pop.
I'll go last.
He says I'll go last.
I gotta think about this. Men and women, huh? All right, I got it. I'll go with my girl Becky Lynch.
Okay.
Mm.
And your runner-up?
Bailey.
Hmm.
I think she needs a push. I think she deserves a push. I think why not let her win it? And I think if she does win it, I see her sticking the middle finger up to her crew that she's running
Damage
with
control
now,
there?
damage control, because
Damage control.
they did her dirty last night on Monday night.
Mhm.
I mean, they did her dirty. And I'm a big fan of Bailey, and I would not believe who was with her at the TNA.
Dakota Kai, I
Oh,
believe.
Dakota Kai. I have a feeling that she will do
Go with it.
something. Yeah. So that would be mine. Becky Lynch. I mean, obviously, come on. So men's, I'm going to say it. The winner's going to be number 30. It's going to be The Rock. He's going to win it. And if he doesn't, it's going to be CM Punk.
Mm.
They need
Wow.
to do that because if CM Punk wins the Rumble, he's going after Seth Rollins, and if Rock wins the Rumble, he's going after Roman Reigns. That's the in my opinion, that's the easiest booking.
All right. Nikki D.
This might be off the wall, but I have for the ladies my final two, and I agree with Huge Pop. Bailey. Bailey's going to be one of them. I just have a feeling it's coming, but this one is out of left field, and I think Sasha Banks will come back, and they will be the last two because remember they had their history a little bit before that. I don't know who's going to win. It's hard to say, but I think those are your last two. And for the guys, oh my gosh, maybe it does calm down. I think CM Punk's one of the last two, and if he's in it, The Rock will be the other, and then you get your match right there because 1 and 2, whoever wins is going against Roman, which let's say it's The Rock, then CM Punk runner up will go against Seth Rollins. So.
Yeah.
I think those are your last two for the guys. I just don't want to pick a winner. I don't want to.
Well, Big Daddy.
I'm going to piggyback off Nikki. Remember, Rock beat Punk for the title at the Rumble when way back, I think like 2010, 2011, somewhere in that time. So that could be like a feud or whatever. But the women, I have my final two. I have Becky Lynch and Jade Cargill.
Oh,
my final two. I think if I had to bet, it'd be Becky to win. Go after Rhea. And then the men's, I have, nobody said it, I have Cody Rhodes and CM Punk as my final two.
All right. Well, for the women's, I've already said it. Jade. I got Jade taking it. But if Jade does not, I have, it's funny, Huge Pop, Nikki, I'm right there with you, Bailey. If Jade doesn't take it, I have Bailey taking that one right there.
Mm-hmm.
Because I see the writing on the wall with damage control, and for her to win it and go after Io for the belt, that would be awesome. That's a good storyline right there. For the men's, it's a little more difficult, man. I'm kind of, if The Rock does come back, obviously, I think he's going to win it. But let's just say if he doesn't, I think Cody's going to win. But I'm picking a third one. But let's just say The Rock just never even shows up. Cody's going to be my number one to win it. If Cody doesn't win it, I'm throwing a twist in this game. LA Knight.
Yeah.
Really?
Throwing that twist in there.
Wow. Okay.
I like it.
Just because.
I do like it because.
Just because if Cody doesn't win, you're already going to have CM Punk going against Seth. We already know that's WWE. Please don't mess that up. That's got to happen.
Kind of like, yeah.
Then you have LA Knight going against Roman for that belt again.
Yeah.
But could you see LA Knight beating Roman Reigns? There's got to be a time when the Roman Reigns is going to get beat, guys.
And here's where we talked about it. Everybody said it, and it's very true. Cody doesn't have to beat Roman to get the belt. So LA Knight could beat him, and then Cody continues his story and beats
to
LA Knight.
finish the story. Yeah. I feel like you said, Rico, it's Punk versus Rollins obviously is happening. So I feel like Punk doesn't need to win the Rumble to face Rollins, because that's just like, I think it's just like writing on the wall.
Yeah, really is.
To piggyback off your scenario, Rico, before we close, if Cody doesn't have to face Roman Reigns for the belt, if for some reason he doesn't, does that tarnish Cody Rhodes' belt because he didn't have to go up against the GOAT? Does the story really need to finish with Cody Rhodes beating the GOAT?
That's a good question. I'm going to say yes and no. Just because, yes, I think it would, because he really wanted to beat Roman for it. And that was his trying to finish his story. But then no, because finishing a story means being the first person in his family to hold that title up, no matter who he beats to get it.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't, go ahead, man.
Oh no, that's a 50-50 right there.
Right.
It's better though. It's better because look at those families.
Right.
I mean, look at those families. It's better.
You almost would want him to beat Roman Reigns.
Well, and the way his music starts, wrestling has more than one royal family.
Yes.
No. I thought it says wrestling only has one royal family.
No, it says wrestling has more than one.
More than one royal family.
You cannot. I mean, WWE, they cannot blow that up. They gotta have. He has to finish the story with Roman Reigns.
And I agree. He really does have to.
I mean, come on. All the stories, Roman Reigns imitating Cody's dad in the middle of the ring.
Yeah.
Baby. All that story.
Cody versus Roman at Mania. I think Huge Pop said, Rock coming out helping Cody, losing him winning the belt, and then the head of the table match, like
SummerSlam
happening.
Yep.
All right, guys, man. We need to do this more often on Tuesday night.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm free every night.
And Big Daddy, huh?
I'm free every Tuesday.
So wait, guys, in the green room. I'll play a song and then we'll talk after.
All right.
All my dogs, make some noise up in this house. Who is in the house? Who is in the house? It's the gangster of destruction, so you know what's going down. And when the drive-by's coming, then you better hit the grind. Cause when your body hits the canvas, then your head is knocked out. Who is in the house? Who is in the house? It's the gangster of destruction, so you know what's going down. And when the drive-by's coming, then you better hit the grind. Cause when your body hits the canvas, then your head is knocked out. Fight with Adrian Whisper is like a fight with the devil, because when he's dealing with you, you cannot get on this level. Fight with Adrian Whisper is like a fight with a king. It's like a fight with an army. They got the tanks and everything. He's leaving bruises and stitches, possibly leaving you crippled. Cause when he sets up the table and sends you straight through the middle. 6 sadistic free, beat that ass with a light bulb. Leave a piece of glass embedded in the back of your skull. Who is in the house? Who is in the house? It's the gangster of destruction, so you know it's going down. And when the drive-by's coming, then you better hit the ground. Cause when your body hits the canvas, then your ass is knocked out. Who is in the house? Who is in the house? It's the gangster of destruction, so you know it's going down. And when the drive-by's coming,